I'm going to call the meeting to order, and we will begin with the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance. The invocation will be given by Tracy Jarvis. He's our Building Development Director, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be done by Captain Shaddix. Would you stand with me, please? Whichever. The order's okay with me. I read it here, but I don't. Yeah, you got to come over here and use the mic. We moved everything.
I'm not sure which one we're doing first.
Oh, there you go.
It's not easy to get in there now.
Dear Heavenly Father, first of all, I just want to say you're awesome, beautiful and wonderful, glorious. And we are so thankful to you tonight, Father, for the privilege to be able to come together, to live and breathe, Lord, to experience your blessings. And we thank you most of all, Father, for sending your Son, Jesus, to pay our sin debt, to rescue us from all of our sins and shame and all of our faults, Lord. You're just an awesome God, and we just love you and praise you. And I want to thank you for this meeting tonight. I thank you for the beautiful council members, the mayor, our city manager, staff, and all the beautiful people of Villa Rica. And Father, I just pray tonight that you would bless us, that you'd guide and direct us, Lord, that your peace would be here, peace that surpasses understanding, that we could accomplish your will and your work here tonight. And Lord Jesus, we thank you for the cross of Calvary, what you did on the cross for atoning for our sins, paying our sin debt. It's amazing. Thank you for everything. May your peace and blessing be here tonight. May your will be done. In the mighty name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have several ceremonial presentations this evening. We'll begin with the financial reporting for 2023 and achievement for excellence.
Good evening. The city received GFOA's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for fiscal year 23. This is the fourth consecutive year the city has received this award. And according to the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada, they've awarded the Certificate of Achievement in Excellence in Financial Reporting to the City of Villa Rica for its annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2023. The report has been judged by an impartial panel to meet the high standards of the program, which includes demonstrating a constructive spirit of full disclosure, to clearly communicate its financial story, and motivate potential users and user groups to read the report. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by the government and its management. I just want to say that I appreciate the support of the mayor and council allowing us to go for this award or apply for this award every year. Like I said, this was the fourth consecutive year, and we plan on applying for it for the fiscal year 2024. We're in the preliminary audit phase right now, getting ready for the auditors. But I also want to, more importantly than anything, say thanks to my staff. I appreciate they're here tonight.
I was going to say, you've got the team. You should at least recognize them.
Louise, our purchasing director, Amanda, the deputy finance director.
Come on, y'all.
Shannon, our accounting clerk, and Katie, our accounts payable clerk.
Thanks,
and
y'all.
I mean, it takes all of us. It takes not just the finance staff, but all of the staff when we call and maybe pester some departments about certain things that we have to do. It's because of the audit rules and laws we have to follow. But it takes all of the support of the entire staff, city manager, and the support that we received from her and the prior city manager as well. So I just wanted to present it tonight to the entire city, but also, pay special thanks to my staff.
Congratulations. Okay, this is a big one. Captain Shaddix, sorry, I'm sorry, but, sorry about that. Want me to, whatever you want. Want me down there? Okay. Okay, a big deal. 24 years of service, Captain Shaddix. Chief, I assume you're going to handle this one. Right.
Handle it with a little help from some friends.
Good. I don't think they're armed.
Good evening. I'm Michael Mansur. I'm the police chief here in Villa Rica. We're supposed to announce it ourselves, right? Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? So anyway, I'm here to honor Captain Keith Shaddix. Keith has served 24 years with the city of Villa Rica. And as you'll hear in a few minutes, you'll hear more about his career. But just personally, I want to speak to Keith and to his wife, Marla, who's here, and let them know how much I appreciate all they've done for our department. When I got here, Keith was here, and he was that steady influence that helped me learn the ropes, learn how to do things, learn how things were done in Villa Rica. He's been nothing but supportive. He's always cared about the department, cared about the people, and he's just so much we appreciate from him. We're going to have his ceremony January 3rd at 4 p.m. here at the courtroom, so please be here for that because we got a lot more that we want to do for him there. But tonight, I'd like to call up Jay Collins and Senator Tim Bearden to handle a proclamation that we're having in honor of Keith Shaddix. Didn't know that one, did you?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's a privilege and an honor to be with you here as you conduct the people's business of the city of Villa Rica. Have a lot of love and admiration for this room and for the elected officials that represent my hometown. Thank you for what you do. Chief Mansour called upon me last week and said, "Hey, Captain Shaddix is retiring, and would you like to recognize him?" I said, "Absolutely." So I drafted a resolution. I talked to my good friend and our Senator Tim Bearden here, and we decided that we would fly a flag over the state capitol and have it flown in honor of Captain Shaddix and his loyal years of dedicated service, of public safety service to our state and to our community. So I'd like to read this resolution, if I may. It says, "Commending Captain Keith Shaddix for other purposes. Whereas Captain Keith Shaddix has dedicated his career to law enforcement since June 1977, beginning his service as a military police canine handler in the United States Army before transitioning to civilian law enforcement. Whereas he served at the Mount Zion and Dallas Police Departments before joining the Marietta Police Department, where he worked until his retirement in January of 2001. Whereas in January of 2001, Captain Shaddix began his tenure with the Villa Rica Police Department as a patrolman, rising through the ranks to captain of the Patrol Division in September of 2003 and transferring to the Criminal Investigation Division, CID, in June of 2009. Whereas throughout his distinguished career, Captain Shaddix's assignments have included uniform patrol, police canine handling, the DUI task force, the motorcycle unit, the gang and street level drug unit, the Drug Enforcement Agency task force, and SWAT team, and more. Whereas he is highly regarded by the citizens of his community and by the state and local officials as a man of unquestionable integrity, and dedication to administration of justice and sound principles of law enforcement. Whereas this spirited law enforcement professional has exhibited extraordinary devotion to duty, outstanding loyalty, fine leadership, and meticulous attention to detail in all of his duties. Whereas his inspiring commitment to the welfare of others is an outstanding example of the positive effect of law enforcement professionals have on our lives and the well-being of others. Whereas it is abundantly fitting and proper that gratitude is expressed for his unique and often unheralded contributions of local law enforcement professionals on behalf of the citizens of this state. Now therefore be it resolved that Captain Keith Shaddix is recognized and commended for his efficient, effective, unselfless, dedicated public service to the state of Georgia and this nation, congratulated upon the grand occasion of his retirement, and extended the most sincere best wishes for continued health and happiness. So resolved this day, 9th day of December 2024. Keith? I want to add, before we present this to Keith, I want to add a little point of personal privilege, if I may. You know, growing up on Dallas Highway, you worked at the Marietta Police Department, and you would go by every morning in front of where I lived, and you would come home. And I grew up seeing that. I grew up knowing you and Marla and the commitment that you had to our community and the commitment you had to public safety. And I was very thrilled when you came to work for the Rica Police Department, and you got to be home and serve a community where you lived and you called home. And knowing you over the last, I guess, 40 years of my life, you were I was a year old when you became a law enforcement professional in 1977. So all of my life, you have been an officer and a distinguished public safety professional. You have done a great job. It's been more of a passion of yours than it has been a job, and it has shown. And we are very grateful to you for your service to this community and what you've meant to this community. You've always had a steady hand, and I think that's vitally important with law enforcement professionals. You're not one that gets excited and gets frustrated. You've always approached every situation I've ever seen with a steady hand and a calming voice, and a voice of authority when you needed to be, a voice of reason, and I think that speaks volumes to the length of your public safety career. So thank you, number one, for your service. Thank you for your friendship, and I certainly hope that you and Miss Marla will be able to enjoy retirement and reap some of that that you have sown. So thank you, and God bless you. Yes.
Well, when I saw 1977, I didn't know you could be in the military at age 10. So things have changed over the years. But, Captain, I just do want to say thank you to your service, to the communities that you've served in the past, the years that you've put in to the service of Villa Rica to keep it safe and keep it a city that we are happy and proud to be able to work and live and be in a safe community. So thank you so much for everything that you've done, and wish you the best in your retirement. So thank you so much for everything.
Also, we want to say this, that the flag in the box there, Senator Bearden and I did this to honor you. It says, from the state of Georgia, the Building Authority, signed by our very own Marty Smith from Carroll County. It says this is to certify that the accompanying state of Georgia flag was flown above the state capital of Georgia on December the 6th, 2024, in honor of Captain Keith Shaddix, in recognition of your years of dedicated service.
Very cool. If y'all would come up here with them and get a picture. You got that too? Okay. You want to do it tonight? Or you want to do it at the?
They gave it to me. It doesn't matter to me. They gave it to me tonight.
Can we do it then?
It's okay with me if you think it'd be
Can we
more
do it then?
appropriate. Okay.
Thank you. You gonna come down? Marla? And I don't think people realize how hard it is for a spouse, for a police officer for this long, and how
you never know, you may get that call, and you never know that something bad could happen, and so we appreciate, you know, Marla's allowing him to stay with us as long as she has, so thank you.
One more. Thank you.
We'll make sure you do that.
Thank you, everyone. It's been a,
on the mic.
better. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love I've felt since I've been in this community. Living here and growing up here, going to high school here, married my high school sweetheart. This was the way I always pictured my career ending here in Villa Rica. Even though I worked elsewhere for the first half of it, I always pictured myself ending my career here in Villa Rica, and I've lived my dream. So I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
We were going to recognize one of our employees as well, Kevin Aldridge. He could not, he's a museum coordinator. He could not be here tonight. So we're going to move on, and that was for 5 years of service. We're going to move on to the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda with any
We have a
changes?
change to the agenda. Okay, item
Okay,
B1, the Jamestown final plat will be tabled to the January regular meeting.
Okay,
Now move to
B1's
adopt the
table.
revised agenda.
Okay. All right, we're going to table item B1, the Jamison Town.
Mayor,
we-
just real quick,
Yes.
this may be a little bit petty, but underneath city manager's report, it has Jeff Reese listed as interim city manager.
Yeah, we
Is
caught that. That was I think that didn't get removed from a previous template or something.
No, that's fine. I just
Yeah,
wanted to.
Yeah, correct. That's right, yes, thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, that's unanimous. All right, we're going to move to public comment portion of the meeting. There was a sign-up sheet as you entered the council chambers. I have that up here. I will call on those individuals first. If anyone additional is wishing to speak who did not sign up, you'll be given an opportunity to do so as well. As you come to the podium, please state your name and address for the record. Each individual will be given 3 minutes to speak. Those addressing the mayor and council may feel free to speak openly on the matter you wish to bring to our attention, but we do ask that you do so in a respectful manner, refraining from any uncivil discourse. As an elected body, we do not typically at that time engage with answering questions or any type of back and forth, but that is your time. However, if your question or concern necessitates a response at the staff level, I'll be happy to have the city manager or another staff member, based on the topic, get back to you on that. In fact, sometimes if you're here after the meeting, we can even answer it then. As your elected officials, we do value the opportunity to hear from citizens and those who have a vested interest in the city. First name on the list is Doug Lang.
Excuse me. I've heard this before, but I just want to make sure. This part could be on any subject.
Yes, this can be on any subject. We have no other public hearings tonight except having to do with alcohol licenses and a change on, some wording changed on an ordinance. So there's no other public hearings on the other. This is public comment. You can bring up any topic having to do with the city during this time. That doesn't have a public hearing, no, sir. No, sir. So now would be the time if you want to speak to that. All right.
Doug Lang, 262 South Carroll Road, Villa Rica. So every year I make this request or statement hoping that, something will change from the past year. And I just want to talk very briefly about the tractor trailers coming up and down South Carroll Road. And each year, of course, we're waiting on the bypass and so forth. But South Carroll Road, as I look at it, if I'm looking at the map correctly, is the only road where it's CMUs, but it is, not all residential, but it does have residential and the trucks travel. But there is alternate routes for the trucks. It's the one road where they don't have to use South Carroll Road. They can come up 61, or they can come up Punkintown, or they can get north through other ways. And I just ask if you could look at that again. Like I say, I make this request once a year, just to look at other ways of, we got the signs up, no vehicles over six wheels, and of course they're going right past the sign. They're going right past the police station. I think you could put an officer out there and write tickets, and the city could balance the budget if it wasn't balanced. I don't know where the status of the budget is, but you could make a fortune out there. And I'd be happy to do it for a percentage if you deputize me for writing tickets. Having said that, how much time we got left? Very quickly, I'll just say, as far as the Villa Rica Parkway goes, I don't live in that neighborhood. I live nearby, but I don't live in that neighborhood. But I'll just say it's been quite an emotional roller coaster this last year. It went from in the beginning to thinking, no, that won't happen, and then surprise, shock, anger, depression, and it's not easy to admit as a Christian, but hatred in my heart. I mean, actual hatred, where I got on my knees and asked the Lord to please take that evil out of me, that I would feel that towards the situation or people involved in it. And I don't say that lightly. I'm embarrassed about it, but I don't know what else to do or say. I mean, I don't know that there's anything that can be said that hasn't been said 10 times before. And it's just, and I can't even imagine what it's like for the people that live there. And so I don't know what else to do but beg you all, and it's not beneath me. Please, it's so unwanted. Take your chance in court, but please don't do this to the people that live in that neighborhood.
Thank you. Pamela White.
Pamela White, 102 Anderson Road.
There you go.
Pamela White, 102 Anderson Road. Like Mr. Lane said, we've got up here and we've said a lot, a whole lot. It ain't a whole lot more that we can say. You all, from the council to the mayor, you know the wrongdoing. You know you could stop it, but you're choosing not to. Anna McCoy, I want to tell you thank you for your questions today. It brought a lot of light to some things that was asked in the meeting. But I want to read a little something that you wrote regarding the mayor, and I'll explain why I'm bringing this up afterwards. And this is from Ms. McCoy. You said leadership is about trust. Just a minute, I lost my thing. Leadership is about trust, accountability, listening to all views, compromise, and humility. You have let your ambition irrevocably damage your relationship with the council members that, if elected, you are to lead. If you continue your campaign and are elected, I hope the wisp of power that you grab will be worth all the people you have stepped on along the way. Bless your heart, Anna. Leslie, you heard us. You've heard us. You came over into our neighborhood and you stayed over there with us over 4 hours. And all you drilled us about was coming to help get Tom Barber out of office. We didn't understand what had went on up here. We didn't know the papers and stuff that had been signed and the contracts that you all had went into. But you begged us for 4 hours. You got to help me get Tom out of there. You got to help me get Tom out of there. You talk negative about Anna. You talk negative about Matthew. And on phone calls and over there, and it's 15 of us that can witness to it. With a lot of stuff we didn't have any business knowing. We didn't know nothing about no Jeff Matthews. And that's where you come in, Matt. The dealings that you're doing with Jeff Matthews, that done got all this different properties and land and stuff in a mess. We coming for you about that. You can deny it, but your signature on it, it ain't gonna be no disputing.
Ms. White, would you please direct your comments to the entire council,
This
please?
my time, Leslie. Don't take up my time. Dan, Mr. Carter, we know you sitting on the old money. We know some of that old money come from places that you may not shouldn't have got it from. But we're gonna leave that there. We're gonna let y'all worry about that. Shirley, you represent us. You know what to do.
Alita Farmer.
Good evening. I'm Alita Dobbs Farmer, representing 216 Anderson Road, Villa Rica, Georgia. Coming tonight after having the opportunity to attend the meeting with the community, as well as listening to the meeting today. There was still a lot of things that was not clear to us as citizens or homeowners that live on that street. And just with the feedback or the information that was shared today, it was very misleading. We were under the impression that a lot of the things that was not going to happen now is going to happen based off of some of the things that Mr. Santos shared today. And I don't know what we need to do as a group of people or a group of citizens for the city of Villa Rica to be heard. This is not being heard, because apparently if that's the case, everybody up there must be deaf. We have asked repeatedly for y'all to take an accountability for your actions. You all have admitted at one point in time that everything that has happened here is not due to our error, our mistakes, but because of what the city wanted for their good, for their purpose, for their growth. Now, from my standpoint, none of us are not saying we want growth. I want growth in Villa Rica. I got children here, grandchildren here. We share some of the same teachers, so I value our community. I value the people in the community, all people in the community, but I don't feel that the city government don't value us. And what do I mean by us? People that look like me, because we're not treated the same. We're not treated the same with our property. We're not treated the same with the way you communicate to us. We're not treated the same with resources. We're not treated the same as regarding, do we even have a right to have comment? The only reason that you're limiting and changing the guidelines to what we can say up here is because you don't want us to have a voice. But we're going to take our voice outside the city of Villa Rica and make every department all the way up to the governor's office aware of what is going on here in the city of Villa Rica.
I believe it's Mally Elder? Molly? Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Molly Elder. I represent 127 Cleghorn Street. I would just like to first of all...
Bring your mic up.
Thank
Oh, move the mic up a little bit. There you go.
Ms. DeSantos for last week's meeting, for allowing the community to be able to ask questions, to come here month after month and make comments and not be able to have those comments addressed or questions to be asked. It's for naught, because we leave with nothing. We came here not knowing, and we leave without knowing if those questions and concerns are not addressed. So I would like to ask the council to consider, and I know Mayor McPherson, that you mentioned that at times some things may be able to be addressed after the fact, but some questions, the entire community, if they're represented, if they're here, that they need to hear those questions. We may have the same questions, some of us may not. It may be something that we have not thought of. So I would like to ask, first of all, the council to consider that. And secondly, I was very disturbed at what I saw on the news media last night. The entire time, for months, I have been coming, and eminent domain was something that, my understanding, no one had a stomach for. So it concerns me very much at the thought of the possibility of there being eminent domain in situations that the community may not be able to, may not agree with the city or the council members. So I ask you all if you could, if somebody could address the mention of eminent domain from last night or yesterday's news media, if there is anything that you all can share, because unless you all be transparent, in which that's one of the things that you all did promise the community that you would be, and I feel like to get up here and make comments and the questions not be addressed or concerns be addressed, then you're not being transparent. And again, I thank you for allowing the community to ask questions and you answer them to the best of your ability, and we really appreciate that. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Juana Kilpasant? You good? Okay. I'm trying to read this. Wanda? Okay. And what? Come on up, Wanda. What's your last name? Say again. Cooper. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
My name's Wanda Cooper, 3135 Sweetbriar Drive, Villa Rica. I am really done with this situation. I read pages and pages. I read your budget. I saw that you did not allocate any funds for that area or that side of town. You all had a chance to make this right with these people, but you didn't. Each and every one of you guys violated your oath of office. You did. You had a chance to make it right, but you didn't. As a citizen, because I'm not an attorney, but as a citizen, I am, and I would urge other people to make a claim against all of y'all's bonds. Because you know, you have to have a bond to sit in those chairs. Yeah, you got to have those bonds. So once someone makes a claim against your bond, you're done. Now, how would you're going to be placed in the same seat as those other people that you're trying to take out of their homes. I'm trying to understand, how can you promise something that's not yours? I can't understand, why aren't you all in jail yet? What's the problem? But I will make sure I'm going to file a claim against their bond, or your bond. Not only that, you all have opened up a big can of worms. Because at this point, even the children, underage, and disabled people can make claims against you, can make claims against against Villa Rica. You all acted so recklessly. Everybody can make a claim against y'all because of what you did, because all you had to do was make it better, do what's right by the people, but you kept on doing it. You kept on doing it. And licensed professionals, you're bonded too. Oh, licensed professionals, you're bonded too. And also, you have malpractice insurance. So with that said, I urge everybody at the sound of my voice to file a claim against everybody's bond. Because you got a surety bond. And when that claim is filed and you all are taking out these seats, we're going to have Kemp to come down here and replace every last one of y'all. It's time for you to go.
Brent Steele.
I'm sorry, that's not part of my 3 minutes. When Publix was constructed, I'm sorry, Brent Steele, 101 Claghorn. When Publix was constructed, the road had to be planned at that point. The roadway that runs beside to meets up with Claghorn, that had to be part of a discussion at that point. So the problem is, we wait until Publix is completely constructed. The road runs out there telling nobody where it's going to go. It ends on Claghorn and Anderson. Now the blow comes saying, where are we going to go from there? The problem is, now you're talking about taking some properties or taking properties from homes that are already in place in the continuation of the road. If I had known, and I don't know the rules here in Villa Rica, but I know that most of the time, it's approximately 44,000 square feet for an acre. How much acreage do they have to build a home in Villa Rica? Is it 12,000 square feet? I don't know. If it is, and you've taken part of the home of Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, whoever it is, in the new property, if their house damaged or burns and they want to reconstruct, will they have enough space for it? I don't know, because it's not clear on how this road is coming out and affecting people's properties. So if you take part of their property and they have to reconstruct, if the house completely burns, there can be a problem with reconstructing on that property. I don't know if anybody does it. The trouble I'm seeing here is planning and zoning. There should be more planning and zoning. I'll say zoning and planning, because if this was zoned to whatever it was going to be, or planned, would have been better, because the planning would have started when Publix started. There's no plan. It seems a bit, every time we turn around, the 2 months ago, there was several comments about done deal. Was it 3 months ago? Done deal was worded 12 times. I'm sorry, it's a done deal. Can't go back. I'm sorry, it was before me, a done deal. So what the problem is, when is anybody going to get away from the complacency of, or show lack of competency to let planning and zoning do what they do, and then when it comes to the board, they would say, wait a minute, what does it take? Somebody would know that it's 44,000 square feet approximately for an acre, or somebody would know the water runoff, or the where this road would have ended, and everybody would have been clear. Now we run into this headstone of where's planning and zoning? $1 million was spent on that road, and now we're going to nowhere. The golf carts can't ride from Mirror Lake to downtown, and that's going to be a beautiful, my time is almost gone. So it's going to be a beautiful project in downtown Atlanta, but we got to get the golf cart.
Deborah Dobbs.
Deborah Dobbs, 807 West Blanket Highway, Villa Rica, Georgia. My complaint is, again, I forgot a lot what to say, because I don't normally attend these, but I've been affected as well as the people that live around here with my address. I live in behind 809, and I'm 807. So the top of the road has been changed from 807 to, I don't even know the name of it. I'm trying to even get the name of it. I don't see how you can change my address and theirs stay the same, and I live right behind them. And another thing, the builder, he needed to move 3 trees, and the landlord allowed him to move 3 trees. He did 5 trees instead of 3 trees. So he's gonna build this big nice dog pen for the dog to be moved. So he built the dog pen, and he used a gate for a pit bull. You know, a pit bull, a little plastic door thing like you would use for just people walking in a gate. The pit bull bit through the gate, and I called him and I told him about it, and he was gonna send somebody to see about it, and he's going to put a top because the dog was able to climb out because of the line that was going across it, and the dog hung itself. So, and still, the workers that he had there that are working, they moved my mailbox without my permission, and they broke my mailbox, and I've talked to him several times. He was going to fix it the next day. He gonna fix it the next day. Still ain't fixed. I've talked to code 3 or 4 times. They still ain't fixed it. And I've had a discussion with Miss Shirley about when it started. And the whole time that they've been up and down that road, my cars have looked like they 20, 30 years old, being dusty. They don't care where they blow stuff or however they do stuff. Your property is just their property. They don't care. And I feel like they mess up something in somebody else's yard. They should take responsibility of it. And my mailbox has got 2 horns holding the door up when the mailbox went more than about 3 months old, if it was that old. And it still hadn't been addressed. And I would like for it to be addressed. I've got his number. I've talked to him several times. I got his email. It's going to be done, but it's never been done. And I think that's government property right there.
Ms. Dobbs, would you leave your phone number with the city clerk right here so I can figure out, because it sounds like a variety of issues, and I don't know which department would handle it, but something to do with their address changing. If you'd leave your number so someone can get back to you and figure out who it is that needs to talk to you on which issue. Thank you, ma'am. Amy McCoy.
Good evening.
Evening.
Shirley, I heard your plea last Tuesday in the community meeting, and it's unfortunate that the lack of respect and equity you face on this council from your peers about mirrors the same disrespect this community has received from all of you. The people of this city are disappointed. They are completely outraged by the treatment they've received. There were comments made in grants that says the residents were really devastated because their park was demolished, but the park is still there. And no one's devastated anything about the park except that you never had proper facilities or ADA accessibility when they've asked for those things. People are more disappointed because you've lied to their face time and time again when they came and asked about what was happening in their community. Or when they came and they talked to you about, hey, your pipes are messing up my pipes and it's causing damage to my property, and no care was given or compensation to reimburse them. The residents are outraged because, yes, there is increases to their taxes. The residents are disappointed because they voted for you and you misused their trust. And then you took their money
and just spent it frivolously. There had to be plans. You just heard many different people point out that even before the Publix was built, there was a plan. There was a plan that you had to submit in order to receive federal funds. But yet, you use the funds at your will, whatever you decided. And it's just not right. I'll call it what it is. And I'll echo one of the former city council members that said everything to do with them being black because you felt they were uneducated to know what was going on for their community. That's why you lied, you schemed, you changed the names in your advertisements. They asked you, they came to your face. Last week, we asked about ethics. How do we file an ethics complaint? And we got a lot of shrugged shoulders and looking around, and it came to, if we had to file an ethics complaint, we go to the city clerk. But what if we have to file on the city clerk? Then where does it go? I'm just saying.
That's the last name I have that was signed in. Is there someone else that would like to speak during public comment that did not sign in? All right, thank you. Council updates. Any council members have anything to share from your ward or something else on the city?
When I have been hearing persons of the public consistently make allegations with untruths and misgivings, okay? And frankly, they're not true. And so I don't know about everybody else on the council, but from my perspective, today is December the 10th. So I'm just going to let everybody know, you have 2 weeks to file whatever you believe you need to file with whatever authority you believe has some sort of investigative power and can adjudicate any kind of allegation or claim that you think you have against me. After that point, you will be hearing from my attorney if I continue to hear false, disingenuous, and fake allegations.
Wait. Excuse me, no, everybody was perfect, no, stop. Everybody was perfectly quiet while others gave their comment. Please respect, the councilman has a right, and you've been giving, ma'am, you'll have to leave if you disrupt the meeting. It's not fair to the other people. It's not fair to others. Councilman Momtahan, go ahead and continue.
And if I may address the one topic that was allegedly brought up about Jeff Matthews, it is public record that I purchased my property and Mr. Matthews' company built my house. I paid a good amount of money to build a house. That's it.
Ma'am.
Exactly, because I didn't do anything wrong, Miss Unauthorized Practice of Law.
That's two. Stop. Chief, I'm sorry. I'm going to ask one more time for people not to interrupt, and they'll have to be escorted out.
So
we would sit there for an hour and listen, people come up, not interrupt them, let them say, make accusations, and say all sorts of things that, listen, I struggle with, but I sit there and I listen to it and I keep my mouth zipped. We all need to respect others' opportunity, whether we agree with them or not. That's what free speech is about. Right. Last time, I will not warn again. Chief, if you'd assist us on this, we've got to conduct a civil meeting. Yes, sir.
So, in a nutshell, I invite anyone who believes they have a claim or an allegation against me to file their claim or allegation with whatever authority they believe will investigate and adjudicate that claim and allegation. We will go through that process, and I will ultimately win. Until that, and if that's not done, 2 weeks, you will be hearing from my attorney with any further comments that I read on Facebook, that I hear at this council meeting. If you show up in my office and try to protest with a bunch of nonsense again, any of these things again, you'll be hearing from my attorney. Thank you.
No, ma'am. Stop it. No. Chief, I'm sorry. Miss McCoy doesn't even live in the city of Villa Rica. Not right now to disrupt this meeting. No, ma'am. I've been on here 14 years and we haven't. No, ma'am. No, she needs to go. She needs to go. Never had to do this before. We have never had to ask someone to leave in all my years here.
I understand what systemic racism is.
Please bring it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you get that bond, because you know the bond is what makes you guys on that.
Yes, ma'am. Go get it. I'm okay with that. I have no fear. I have no fear of wrongdoing. The only update I have is to say that I have absolutely nothing against the council members. I think we have a pretty good working relationship, and there is no one up here that I am protecting or feeling like I can't say what I need to because of anything you've done. I'm not aware of any wrongdoing by my fellow council members, so thank you. I know we make mistakes, we trip over our feet, but I am not aware of any wrongdoing by any of you.
Okay.
All right, yes, sir.
Since it is council updates, and since someone was trying to point me out, I have been on the council 15, this is my 15th year. I've never accepted any contributions from my campaigns. I paid for every one of my campaigns out of my pocket, so I'm not beholden to anybody, so I can do whatever's best for Villa Rica. That's the reason I did that. And I don't know where you talk about this old money stuff. I don't let the city pay for my health insurance. I pay for my own. So I've saved the city a lot of money, and I'm not beholden to anybody, so I can make decisions that's best for the whole city and all the citizens of Villa Rica. Thank you very much.
All right, I'll go ahead. There are a number of things that are on the consent agenda. This was handled during the work session when we met earlier today from 1:30 till about 5, I think. And these items will be voted on all at once. I'm going to read them off. There's 16 of them. Item number 1, the contract renewal with Municipal Judge Keith Rollins and the Solicitor Robert Harker. Number 2, resolution declaring emergency of sewer flow of Shoreline Lift Station. Number 3, the Villa Rica Civic Center and Sports Complex scoreboard replacements. Number 4, the Rivershire Place final plat. Number 5, budget amendments 1 through 19. Number 6, to execute a loan modification number 3 to the promissory note and loan agreement for loan number DW2020024 with the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority. Basically, it's a loan from GFA, and that's the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority. Number 7, purchase is a F-150 purchase for community development. Number 8 was also a 2025 F-150 purchase for customer service. Number 9, a 2025 Ford Escape purchase for code enforcement. Number 10, F-250 purchase for building maintenance. Number 11, F-450 purchase for distribution. Number 12, the I-20 water contract renewal. Number 13, Weatherstone Lift Station refurbishment. Number 14, the public comment policy. Number 15, purchase of mitigation credits for creek crossing by Fortune Parkway. And number 16, proposed text amendment. All of these were discussed in their entirety during the work session, so if you have any questions, that is all on video on the meeting. And of course, us and staff are available to answer any questions in regard to that. All right, A1, approval of the November 12th,
No,
I'm sorry.
I don't
I'm
make a
sorry, wait a
motion that we
second.
adopt the consent agenda.
Yes. I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
So moved.
Have a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. All right, governing body, A1, approval of the November 12, 2024 work session and city council meeting minutes. Did everybody have a chance to look over those? Bring to the attention of clerk if you came across anything that was yet an issue with? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adopt those.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm abstaining just because I wasn't at that meeting.
Okay, so one abstention. I had to do the same thing on council at one time if you weren't there to hear them. All right, item B, building development, Tracy Jarvis.
no.
Oh, I'm sorry, we tabled that
tabled.
item. That's the Jameson Town final plat. So that'll be tabled until January. All right. This might be a good time for our transition. I have to leave early. Councilman Carter, Pro Tem Carter, will chair the remainder of the meeting and for the items of community development and the city manager report.
And Mayor, I think at this time, I'm going to address all of the alcohol applications at once, applicants at one time. So if you're here for an alcohol application, if you could, we're going to address you one at a time, but before we do that, I'm going to have all of you come up front first, just very briefly. Yes.
Just come around the middle here.
Needs to stay.
He's going to address you from over here.
It makes it easier than one at a time. Thank you.
Y'all come over here, please. Come over this way. Yeah, Kevin's going to address you.
And I'm just going to call these out. If you just raise your hand and let me know who you are or which establishment you represent. Thai Basil? Thai Basil? Okay. Brookside Cupboard? Star Food? Star Food? Okay. Gabe's and Junior Food Store. Okay. All right. So if y'all don't know who I am, I'm Kevin Drummond. I'm the city attorney. And what we're doing is we're hoping this makes at least some impression upon you on how serious the city takes the sale of alcohol to underage minors, okay? Each of you are asking the city for a license to sell alcohol, and with that comes certain responsibilities. If you sell alcohol to minors and you're caught doing that, you will lose your license and you may face criminal consequences. Do each of you understand that? Do each of you promise not to sell to minors? And to make sure you take steps by having your employees card your customers and make sure that you're not selling alcohol to minors. I also want you to know that Chief Mansour has been known to hire underage people to go into establishments in an attempt to purchase alcohol. If he is successful in purchasing alcohol with a minor in your establishment, you will lose your license more than likely, and you may face criminal charges, okay? All right. So again, the reason I'm doing this is to make sure you understand how important this is to the city, and hopefully this will at least leave some impression upon you that we're not going to tolerate that conduct, okay? All right, thank you.
Okay. The first community development item is ABL 0724, and Whitney Cox is going to present that.
Good evening, Whitney Cox, licensing specialist. First, I have Thai Basil Cuisine, Inc., located at 921 Morris Ferry Road, Suites E and F. The applicant, Ms. Juana Copraso, is applying to add the distinction of a distilled spirits pouring to her currently existing alcohol beverage license. She currently can pour malt beverages and wine, and has expanded the location with renovations and is now including a bar. She has passed The background check conducted by the Villa Rica Police Department. There are no zoning restrictions that would hinder issuance of the license, and staff recommends approval.
Okay. And where, would the candidate please come up that applying for the license? Okay, does council have any questions of Whitney or? Hearing no questions? Okay, we'll open this for a public hearing. Oh, okay. Would you like something to say to the council? Now's your opportunity to say anything you like. No, no, okay. All right, then we'll open this up for the public hearing. Anyone who would like to speak for or against this application for liquor license would come forward now. And no one's approaching the podium, so I'll close the public hearing. And I'll bring it back to the council for a motion.
I'll do it. I move to approve the alcohol license application for Thai Basil Cuisine located at 921 Morse Ferry Road, Suite E and F, Villa Rica, Georgia. Or do we miss something?
We have a motion,
I'll second.
and we have a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. All that are opposed? Madam Clerk, did you get that? Okay. The second item, ABL 0924. Whitney, you're on.
Okay, this application is for Sri Naya Incorporated, doing business as Brookside Cupboard, located at 1238 Rockmart Road. The licensee, or applicant rather, was currently, or previously, I'm sorry, a partnership that owned the business, and the licensee or applicant is now sole owner of the business, and the partner was listed as the licensee prior to now, so the new owner, sole owner, is applying for a license to sell malt beverages and wine.
Okay, yeah, that applicant is here tonight. Yes. Is there anything you'd like to say to the council?
Yeah. No, nothing.
Okay. Has the council got any questions for the applicant or Whitney? All right, this time we're going to open it up to a public hearing. Anyone who'd like to speak for or against this application, would you please come forward? Seeing no one, bring it back to the council for a motion.
I'll make the motion. I move to approve the alcohol license application for Sri Naya Incorporated, doing business as Brookside Cupboard, located at 1238 Rockmart Road, Villa Rica, Georgia 30180.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Everyone in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? Madam Clerk, you get that? Okay. Item 3, ABL 1024. Whitney?
Okay, this application is Five Star Food Mart LLC, located at 205 South Carroll Road. The applicant, Ms. Sunita Karki, is applying for a license to sell malt beverages and wine. The business is currently operating as a convenience store. Am I on the wrong one? No, okay. A convenience store with gas pumps, and the applicant has taken over ownership of the business. License can't be transferred, so she's applying for one in her name.
Okay. I see the applicant is beside you. If you have anything to say, now's your time. Nothing? Okay. All right, do the council, members of the council have anything they want to ask the applicant? Okay, hearing none, I open it to a public hearing. Anyone want to speak for or against this application, come forward. Seeing no one, I bring it back to the council for a motion.
I move to approve the alcohol license application for Five Star Food Mart LLC located at 205 South Carroll Road, Villa Rica, Georgia, 30180.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Everyone in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? And we'll go to the next item, which is ABL 1224. Whitney?
Okay. Gabe's Downtown Douglasville LLC at 129 Main Street is applying for a pouring restaurant license to pour malt beverages, wine, as well as distilled spirits. The applicant, Samuel Gabe Toops, has successfully passed the background check conducted by the Villa Rica Police Department. There are no zoning restrictions that would hinder issuance of the license. This business is actually moving back into our central business district after closing in 2022, and staff recommends approval.
Okay, that's the ABL 1124, my error. And would you like to say anything to the council?
Yeah, I'd like to say a little bit something. We opened in 2006 in Villa Rica, and my wife and I raised our 3 kids in Villa Rica. And I just want to say we're both extremely excited to be back here. So appreciate your time tonight, and we're really looking forward to serving y'all.
We missed you while you were gone, you know that?
Yeah, we missed it more. I missed that $150,000 a month too. Yeah, we didn't want to close.
Welcome back. Anything the council would like to say?
Mayor Pro Tem Carter, if I can mention something, I'm going to recuse myself from the vote on this matter because I have a business relationship with an entity that has a business relationship with Gabe's. So.
Okay. One abstention.
I just would like to say welcome back to Villa Rica. Villa Rica and Gabe's go hand in hand. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Should have never left, and we're super glad to have you back. But I just wanted to welcome you back.
Thank you so much. We had to close because our flooring system literally was falling through.
Yes.
So we had to literally close like that. And we were great in Douglasville, but we've been trying to get back there.
Welcome back. Okay, we'll open this to a public hearing. Anyone who wants to speak for or against this application, please come forward. Seeing none, we bring it back to the council for a motion.
I move to approve the alcohol license application for Gabe's Downtown Douglasville LLC located at 129 Main Street, Villa Rica.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? That's 3 and 1. Okay, 1 abstention. Okay, now we'll go to item ABL 1224. Whitney?
Okay. Excuse me. Last but not least, we have Next Gen Nexus Incorporated doing business as Junior Food Store. It's located at 516 Dallas Highway. The applicant, Smita Pahari, has passed the background check conducted by the Villa Rica Police Department. There are no zoning location restrictions that would hinder issuance of the license. The business is currently operating as a convenience store with gas pumps, and the applicant is just going to be a new agent or licensee listed on the license.
You have your opportunity if you'd like to speak. Nope. Everybody's bashful tonight. Okay, the council members have any questions for the applicant? Okay, I'll open this to a public hearing. Anyone who wants to speak for or against this application, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the council for a motion.
I move to approve the alcohol license application for Next Gen Nexus Incorporated doing business as Junior Food Store located at 516 Dallas Highway, Villa Rica, Georgia, 30180.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Then we have a 4-1.
Thank you.
Thank you, Whitney. Okay, next up is the city manager for the River Rica Parkway Connector Resolution.
Good evening.
I know there's been, Diana DeSanto, interim city manager. I know there's been a cover sheet included with the packet to include a motion for consideration this evening, but I am going to read the original resolution that I read this afternoon for everyone. Whereas for a period of several years, the city of Villa Rica has been pursuing a project to construct a connector road between downtown and the Mirror Lake community. And whereas the city has created a tax allocation district, one purpose for the tax allocation district was to fund the proposed connector road. And whereas the city also obtained bond proceeds to fund the proposed connector road. And whereas the council does desire to give guidance to city staff concerning the status of said road. Whereas earlier this year, council directed the city manager to provide a recommendation for the completion of the road after having analyzed all the facts and circumstances related to the road project. As instructed, and after reviewing all potential alternative routes and analyzing all options related to the completion of the connector road, the city manager has provided a recommended route. Now therefore, be it hereby resolved by the mayor and council of the city of Villa Rica that the city staff is directed to continue to negotiate property easements and acquisitions along Cleghorn, Darden, McCauley, North Carroll, and Gordon Streets.
Thank you. Do the council members have any questions of the interim city manager?
Well, no more than what I said earlier. The road, but the closing the top of Darden Street, I don't agree with that. But I'm just one vote. But I just don't. I see the inconvenience, and so I don't vote for that.
Okay.
I do want to say one thing.
Okay.
I appreciate everyone coming to talk over this last year, it feels like. I think it actually was a year. This is not an easy decision for us to sit in this chair and make. I in full transparency, I am sitting here with a decision to go with the people or possibly put the city, bankrupt the city. That's how I feel. That's how I see the decision. And I sit here right now, not 100% sure how I'm going to raise my hand. But what is so disheartening to me is that this has been a year, and we are back at square one. Nothing has been done. Nothing has moved forward. And as what Pam read earlier, where I said, hopefully, I said something about compromise and working together, that we're back at square one. And that, to me, is so disheartening about this whole entire process, that a different resolution or something couldn't have been done. And this is where there's a lot of talk about sitting in these chairs. This is where it really, to me personally, I cannot speak for the other council members, but to me personally, this is where it really, really, for lack of a better term, sucks to sit in this chair. And that's just what I have to say.
Okay.
I agree with what Anna just said. This is not an easy decision. A lot of what happened with the decisions that were made with this connector were done before I joined council. So I've kind of, same as you, Diana, it has been something that I inherited, and I'm just trying to navigate through all of this the best that I can, and it's not an easy task at all. It's not a real good situation to have to be in. With that said, I want to point out that this is not any sort of final decision. This is a resolution to move forward with discussions with property owners. We have heard from numerous people in your community over the past year, but I think it's fair to also have those discussions with the the homeowners who are directly impacted, who may not be at these meetings. And with this resolution, that's what this is. This is a discussion with those homeowners who may not want to come forward and speak out in public. The council still has to approve anything in order to move forward. We have to approve the negotiations that are done, any kind of, before any purchases can be made, the council has to approve it. So this is not this is a done deal. It's fair to discuss with the homeowners who are directly impacted. I promised when all of this first started that it was only fair to explore all options. And I feel like this resolution, even though it's not an easy decision to sit here and say before you that I'm okay with moving forward with it, it's more so of just like we owed it to those who were opposed to this connector to explore all options. We owe it to the homeowners who are directly impacted to at least have the discussion, which should have already happened. Like, this is not something, this is discussing with those homeowners who are directly impacted. Those are discussions that should have happened long before now. Sorry. We can't do anything to undo what's already been done. And I hate to put it that way, because I know you all are tired of hearing that too. But I'm sitting here saying I can't undo what's already been done that happened before my time. All I can do is move forward the best that I can. And again, this is discussions with homeowners to see where they stand, what they want. The people who are not coming out in front of the public to speak, who may be interested in moving forward with this. But again, I just think it's important to make sure that everybody understands this is not a final decision. This is just simply moving forward with exploring all of those options.
Okay, thank you, Council. Anyone else? I'll recognize.
I agree with both Anna and Stephanie. I mean, this is a tough decision, but ultimately it's a decision regarding the opportunity for the affected property owners to make a decision on whether or not their property is, their property or parts of their property will be sold. That's what this resolution is about. So,
Thank you.
and that's
Councilman
the
Monahan.
scope of it.
Okay. All right, I'll call for a motion.
I make a motion to approve resolution to direct city staff to resume work on the Villa Rica Parkway and to engage in property easement and acquisition negotiations along Cleghorn, Darden, McCauley, North Carroll Road, and Gordon Streets in relation to the proposed Villa Rica connector, or Villa Rica Parkway.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? 4-1. She was just slow. 5-0.
So that was unanimous.
Yes, thank you. All right, I believe takes care of that. And now we're still back to Diana,
Back to Diana.
just for the city manager report.
Yes, sir. And I know it's been look how fast. Look how fast I've gone. No, it's okay. That was really, really quick. And I will keep it really, really quick. I know it's been a long night already and a very long work session today. So I appreciate everyone's time. And for those staying till the end, I really appreciate your attendance.
We'll be here to the end with you, Diana.
I'll wait. Oh, yes, You. This is also available online, so I will not be at all offended by everybody leaving, but they'll miss the narrative that goes along with it. So again, as we've done in prior months.
Comment for you, Diana. Yeah. I'm actually going to give a shout out to my mom because she praises your PowerPoint slides to me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I feel like this is a really good opportunity for not only our residents that are here tonight, but also the elected and other team members here with us to kind of see what's going on in the other departments, talk about the things that we've accomplished, celebrate the good, what we're currently working on, as well as highlight some things we've got going on in the future. So as always, kind of start through the departments. We'll begin with administration. Over the last few months, we initiated laserfish training. More recently, both the clerk's office and our HR team is working to transition into laserfish. Again, this is a cloud-based document retention system that enables workflow as well as faster document retrieval. I think we've actually got a project coming up pretty quickly on check registers that'll make it easier for the elected to access our check registers weekly via laserfish. But our finance team completed accruals and adjustments at the end of November, and now they're currently working on completing work papers for our end of year. Auditors did come out for a final inventory count earlier this year and will arrive sometime in January for additional field work. Our team also completed 2 content and editing training sessions with Revise as work continues as we transition to the city's new website. We will continue our training this month, which is actually on Friday, with our public service app. Once all training is completed, we'll work towards migration in the new year. And the public service app I'm really excited about. I'm hoping we get an opportunity in January at work session to do a demonstration. It's going to replace both Text My Gov and the Report of Concern, marrying the two platforms so that people can report in pictures as well as locations of areas in need in the city. Open enrollment for the Medical Independent Care Flexible Spending Account is complete. We've also released a request for qualifications for broker services, which will be reviewed in January. The city also released an RFQ, which is a request for qualifications for the Safe Streets and Roads for All Comprehensive Safety Action Plan. These responses are due by December 30th, and we will bring forward the successful respondent for consideration at your January work session. Finally, we work to continue with our GIC initiatives and had to continue engagement with our community champions. We are also working to apply for a CHIP, which is a community home investment property grant, Prior to submitting this grant application, the city released an RFP for a grant administrative services for the grant for this CHIP application, and we'll present that successful respondent in January as well. And finally, we are still in the process of reviewing our purchasing policy. We plan to align some of the spending thresholds more uniformly while also reviewing our local vendor preference for a quantitative measure. Other future projects include continued work towards the Cleghorn Street Park, as well as submitting letter of interest to different foundations to help support that venture. For our development services team, they issued about $74,000 in building permits in November, which also includes issuing the final certificates of occupancy for the Dorsey Apartments. The team also extended an offer to a new part-time code enforcement officer. And if you guys haven't been out here, the team is working diligently to get the WIC building operational again, and we hope to have the doors open to the public in January. Other projects by our development team include text amendments to both our code of ordinance as well as the zoning code, which will have additional brought forward to you in January as well. From Falcon Designs, all of the relevant data has been collected for the Mirror Lake Boulevard left turn lane project at this time. They are currently drafting line work for this data and will begin final concept plans shortly. Next is our Parks and Recreation team, followed by other community resources. For our Parks and Recreation team, our youth basketball registration hit an all-time high. We've got 402 players, 40 teams, and 80 coaches. Our Parks team filled 2 full-time athletic positions. Our Villa Rica High School choral performance took place at the Senior Center last week, and the department received a Hometown Hero Award from Mater Woodman this last week. Ongoing, we've got holiday boot camp still in full force, breakfast and lunch with Santa on Saturday. Our youth basketball practices continue through January, and our 100-mile challenge with 87 participants. And moving into next year, we're still looking at our Gold Dust Park improvements, which includes repaving the tennis courts to pickleball courts, as well as our gym bleacher replacement. In our downtown gym facility, we're looking at rubber floor replacement. We've got spring sports registration beginning in January through February. Our daddy-daughter dances looking at February 7th and 8th. And we have 3 winter camps that will be hosting the week of winter break, which is February 18th through the 21st. Petals and Pinky's Tea Party will be held March 15th, and we are planning some new art classes to start early 2025. For our other cultural resources, which we combine our library as well as our Main Street Tourism and Pine Mountain Gold Museum, the West Georgia Regional Library System will be sharing the news that our libraries are going fines-free for children's and young adults material, which will be effective January 1st. This brings us in the company of hundreds of libraries across the country, including nearly 1/3 of the library systems here in Georgia. There's a lot of reasons for this move. And the primary one is to increase literacy levels for our children and young adults. As you may know, a literate, educated workforce has been the priority of the state of Georgia for the last several years and continues to be important to promote workforce readiness and keep Georgia #1 in the state for business. A mission as a public library system is to promote literacy in our community, and by removing barriers for children and young adults to access age-appropriate books and materials, we are fulfilling this mission. Our downtown elf hunt continues as residents support local businesses. Look carefully and you will find an elf mate on either side of the tracks. Remember to take a selfie with this elf mate and tag #downtown Villa Rica and take home your very own elf mate. If you were not able to visit the Winter Wonderland at Pine Mountain Gold Museum during its opening week last week, don't worry, you'll have several more chances. The Winter Wonderland train runs every 20 minutes on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturday nights from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. We also have some hot cocoa, s'mores, and merch for sale. Come visit and see 10 miles of lights hung throughout the park. For our public safety team, again, we've kind of had this one as a completed item, yet still ongoing. We've gotten some of the red dot equipment, but we're still awaiting all items, and once received, our team will schedule time out on the range for officers to undergo training prior to full deployment. We are proud to have organized 567 community involvement events this month in Villa Rica. This category includes reading to children at schools, participating in community events, and contacts outside of enforcement-related activity to help build a culture of trust and reliance between officers and the people that are served. The leader in this category is D-Shift that held or attended 379 events combined. Some ongoing items include hiring additional personnel included in the 2025 budget, as well as staffing and equipping the special response team. The tryouts were held on October 30th, and individuals were notified for selections on November 8th. We really appreciate Council's continued support of this initiative to include approving uniforms, helmets, radio communications, as well as other highly needed tools and equipments for this unit. Additional events this month include our senior citizen gift delivery next Tuesday, as well as Shop with a Cop on December 19th. Thank you again to all of our community partners and support for programs such as these. For our Public Works team, we completed the Main Street drainage project with parklets to be reconstructed and reset in front of Los Cowboys over the next several weeks. Other completed projects include the manhole repair at the intersection of North Candler and Main Street, pictured in the slide there, and all of the Christmas decor installed in the downtown and surrounding city facilities. Continued projects include 2024 paving, to which we provided an in-depth report earlier this afternoon. The downtown parking lot continues to move forward with curb and gutters complete. The asphalt paving will proceed shortly as we continue to monitor the weather for favorable paving conditions. We continue to coordinate the installation of traffic calming signs and speed bumps, as well as solar radar flashing sign to be installed on Dallas Highway this week. Finally, as we move into the new year, we will continue to complete the fiscal year 2025 vehicle and equipment purchases, as well as the downtown sidewalk pressure washing project. For our utilities team, as you heard from Mr. Bain earlier today, we did complete the lead and copper service line inventory as required in October, and we have sent out surveys about unidentified or galvanized pipes to residents impacted through this service line inventory. Weekly, on average, we look at our preventative maintenance, which includes utility locates, water production of about 1.2 to 1.4 million gallons per day, wastewater treatment about 1.5 to 1.6 million gallons per day, completed bacteriological and hexachromium sampling with mandated monthly production and testing to our regulatory agencies. Ongoing is our shoreline force main, as well as the Cleghorn lift station, Church Street water main, which is set to begin in February, coordinating new water contract for water purchases with Douglas County Water Authority, and continued locate service line repairs and production of water and wastewater treatment. As we move into the future, we are still working to achieve our Water First designation renewal in the spring, renew our water plant operations permit. We're looking at developing ordinance changes that align with the Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District, and we will continue to review and develop various capital planning improvement strategies among our various utilities. Some updates from our additional partners include the Douglas County Chamber. More specifically, they've got the Winter Ball, where community awards will be presented. The Sam P. Roberts Community Service Award is presented to an individual who has demonstrated exemplary service to their community over the past year. The Lifetime Achievement Award, which will be presented to an individual who has, over time, exhibited outstanding service in every aspect of giving to their community. The Large Business of the Year Award, as well as the Douglas County Chamber Spirit Award, recognizing a chamber member that has continuously committed and generously works towards the advancement of Douglas County Chamber in the community. On the Carroll County Chamber Carroll Tomorrow side, the Main Street team continues to work with Carroll Tomorrow on options to update the Main Street and DDA's facade program. The Chamber hosted the Women of the Year luncheon on November 21st. Coming soon is the State of the County breakfast to be held January 23rd, and the 70th anniversary annual meeting for Carroll County Chamber held Saturday, February 1st. Carroll County will host its 4th annual Susan A. Mabry 3-week Citizen Academy beginning February 6th. This academy offers local citizens a better understanding of county government as volunteers and a knowledge of ways to strengthen relationships between citizens and their local government. Topics include Carroll County history, community development, community services, public safety, and the court system. For our Villa Rica school update, Villa Rica High School, Bay Springs Middle School, and CCA North all received additional classroom upgrades this year. Villa Rica Elementary, a new playground, and Glansman Hines Elementary improvements in the spring, coming forth in the spring. Villa Rica Elementary School was recognized by State Superintendent of Schools as a math leader. Our Glansman Hines Elementary School hosted visitors for Veterans Day and Thanksgiving luncheons, and the Villa Rica football team partnered with them on this meal. For our Villa Rica Middle School, Mr. Jerome Baker spoke with students about grit and generosity, respect, integrity. In our middle school sports update, Bay Springs softball were champions. Boys golf team first in the region, while girls finished second. Competitive cheer team won state. Our Wildcats football team were runner-up on the West Georgia Middle School Conference. Villa Rica High School had 11 students selected for the second round of the Governor's Honor Program. And Villa Rica High School had 80 students sign up to take the ASVAB. And the ASVAB exam gives students more opportunities and advancement in the military. As always, this report is available on the city's website as well as the weekly happenings. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. As you can see, Villa Rica is a thriving community, and we have an excellent group of employees that are working hard to make it better for every one of us. I will now entertain a motion for adjournment.
A motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand.